This is the Fan Edit channel.
Writing and editing are the power twins of textual creativity. Before you can edit it, you have to write it. But once you've written it, you have to edit it. Writing and editing go hand in hand for both books and films and blog posts and YouTube videos. For books, you can't do the editing until you've first done the writing. For films, you can't do the editing until you finish shooting, and you can't go shooting until you've written the script. Or you shouldn't go shooting until you've finished writing the script. In both instances, the creative expression precedes the editorial refinement of that expression. For books, it's relatively simple: writing, rewriting, editing. For films and TV shows, it's a lot more complicated: writing, rewriting, shooting, editing, rewrites, pickups, more editing, until it's finally picture locked. Writing and editing, well, you can't do the latter without the former, but the former without the latter is usually rubbish. With over 14 years of experience to call on and nearly 400 edits later, it's time to share what I've learned about fan editing, which is why I started this YouTube channel. So a fan edit, by definition, is an edit made by a fan, and it will inevitably contain all the things that the fan doing the edit likes about the text in question, and none of the things they don't, or at least as few as can't be got rid of. So let's say you and I both edit the same text. The fan edit that you do will obviously be the one that you want to watch, as it will be the edit with everything in it that you want to see. It'll be your preferred version of the story, told in what you think is a better way, and thus more watchable to you than the original. Now, you may very well enjoy my edit, but I doubt that both edits would contain the exact same cuts made the exact same way. Both would be a personal take on the story, and I would always encourage you to do your own edit, but no two fans are exactly alike, and so no two fan edits will ever be exactly alike either, or shouldn't be, unless you're passing off someone else's work as your own. There are more fan edits of Star Wars than anything else. Hardly surprising, given that Mike J. Nichols' The Phantom Edit is where fan editing as we know it today first started. Nichols' cut of George Lucas's disappointing 1999 movie The Phantom Menace was created like every other fan edit since for one reason: to make a better version than the original. That intention is motivated by, based on and derived from a love of the source material. First, the editor recognises that the text is flawed. Having identified the flaws, the editor then seeks to improve the text by removing them. That's why the subheading for the website that accompanies this channel is Story Surgery for the Screen. Unlike normal video editing, where you take all the raw footage you've shot and edit it together, with fan editing, all the footage you're working with has already been cut for you into the finished film. Now, sometimes it's a great film, sometimes it's a not so great film. Now, think of a film you love, or a film you really like a lot. Now, here's the question: whether you love it or like it, is it perfect? Probably not. Could it be better with a few changes? Yes, it probably could, which is where fan editing comes in. At its simplest, fan editing is all about coming up with a better version of your favourite film or TV show than the one the movie studio or broadcaster gave you. Now, although the re-editing of movies, also known as the director's cut, have been going on for years, it was the Phantom Edit that's acknowledged as having given birth to the fan edit movement as we know it today. Every fan editor, Star Wars or otherwise, is motivated by the same impulse: to take a bad film and make it better, which sounds like a cue for a Beatles song. They set about doing that, making it better, by cutting, augmenting and reordering pre-existing material. And reordering and recutting existing material to make it better is what fan editing is all about. Now, when a director makes a movie, he shoots each scene from several different angles, covering all the different viewpoints from which he can tell the story. What he ends up with is a whole bunch of footage of different takes of different moments in the scene from different angles. The director, often in conjunction with their film editor, will then make a choice as to which shots they use to tell the story in the scene, and in which order. When they've done that for every scene, they have a finished film. The problem is that sometimes filmmakers make the wrong choices. especially normie filmmakers dealing with fan texts. Usually they make those wrong choices because they don't really understand or love the material. Sometimes it's because they put too much emphasis on parts of the story that don't justify it. Sometimes it's a misjudged moment of comic relief that doesn't really work. Other times it's a subplot that slows things down. Whatever it is, in nearly every film, even the ones you love, there's almost always something that you don't really like, don't think quite works, and would much rather wasn't there. You can't help but think that the movie would be so much better without the things you don't really want to see in it. But what if you could watch a version where there's nothing wrong with it? A version that only has all the things you want to see and none of the things you don't. If only there was a way to fix that film and make it better. Well, the good news is, there is a way you can fix films and TV shows and make them better. They're called fan edits.